Question 3 related to atomic physics, uranium, which is 235 and 92, is a radioactive isotope, means it emits out radiation such as alpha, beta, and gamma, and that occur naturally on Earth. Describe the composition and the structure of a neutral atom of uranium 235. So we have to find how many neutrons are there, how many protons are there, and how many electrons are there. But why it is of like the weightage, you can see it's of 4 marks. So why it's of 4 mark, you have to specify that where neutron and protons are found and where we find electrons. That is the other mark. How many neutrons will be there? The question is, we have to state the composition and the structure of a neutral atom of a uranium. Like we have uranium in the, you have uranium which is 235 and 92. We have to tell how many protons are there. We have to tell how many protons are there. We have to tell how many neutrons and how many electrons are there. That's the question. So there are, when we write, there are, you can use this part here. The composition means like what it consists of. So because 92 is written, so it contains 92 protons. That's right. It contains how many neutrons, how to work out the number of neutrons. So you take a difference, 235 minus 92. And how many protons? Because it's a neutral atom, the number of the proton and electrons are same. Then what is the fourth mark, like mentioning these points? Mention that neutron and protons are present inside the nucleus. They are inside the nucleus of an atom, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a definite region, or what we call that as a shell. And the size of the nucleus is very small compared to size of an atom. So the points you will mention, it consists of 143 neutron and 92 proton inside the nucleus, which is very small. Compared to atom. So when we compare to an atom, the size of a nucleus is negligible. And there are 92 electrons are there which are revolving around the nucleus. Inside the shell. Another isotope of a uranium-238. Describe how an atom of a 235 differ from 238. What is the difference between them? How they are different from each other? Neutrons. So they will have different number of a neutron because these are actually isotope. The characteristic of a, yeah, you can say more neutrons are there in 238 compared to 235, or they will have different neutron. You can also specify 238 is having 3 more neutrons. That's also right, correct. You can specify how many total are there. That's also. Then in a nuclear power station, yeah, 146 and 143. That also you can mention. The next one, in the reactor, in a nuclear power station, a nucleus of a uranium absorb a neutron. So what is the symbol for neutron? 1 and 0. And then it undergo a nuclear fission. Nuclear fission means when the lighter, the heavy nucleus break down and form the lighter one. The 2 neutrons are emitted out, neutron 2, 1 and 0, because neutron symbol is 1 and 0. Complete the equation for a fission reaction. Remember one thing, that the nucleon number and the proton number, like the subscript and the superscript on the left hand side should be equal to subscript and the superscript on the right hand side. So what is the total number on the left hand side? 1 and 235. So what is the total number? 1 means like the mass of a neutron is 1 and it does not have any proton. So this is 1 and this is 235. So there is 236 here, the subscript. And the superscript is 92. Superscript is 236 and subscript is 92. Then we have to complete, like this 2 neutrons are emitted out. Yeah, 0 is representing it does not have any charge or a proton. That 0 is representing. So if we want to complete this, so total number, then like this is 140, this one is 2, so 142. We want to make total as 236. So how it will be 236? So it won't be 93, it will be 94. This should be 94. Why 94? As you can see, the total superscript, as we work out, this is 1 and this one is 235. So the total superscript is 236 on the left hand side. So it should be 236 on the right hand side as well. How it can be 236 on the right hand side? We have 2 here because 2 multiplied by 1, 2 here. And we have 140 here. So how much left to make it 236? So I'm left with 94. So 140, 94 and 2, the sum will make 236 on the right hand side. And the total the subscript should also be same, like 0 in 92. So this is 92 on the left hand side. So we should have 92 on the right hand side. This is 0. This is 54. So how much we're left with to make it 92?
38.
So we are left with 38. So this should be 38. Is it clear, this part? Anyone having a doubt?
Yes, sir, clear.
The next one they are saying a xenon, which is 40 and 54, is a radioactive and it emit a beta. Whenever a beta emission is there, the nucleon number does not change, but the proton number increases by 1. Like if it is xenon Xe, when it emit out beta, for beta 0 and -1, the nucleon number does not change, it will remain 140 and means it will form another product, like it will form isotope Q. Nucleon number does not change and the proton number increases by 1, so this will be 55. The question is how many protons are there and how many nucleons are there? How many protons are there in Q?
55.
55, because that is representing. And how many? Why the proton number increases by 1? Because in a beta emission, what happened? One of the neutron breaks into proton and electron. This electron is beta and this proton remain in the nucleus. That's why the proton number always increase. So if there's a beta emission, proton number always increase. Why for beta the top is 0 here? Because a beta does not have any neutron or proton, it is an electron. There is no nucleon number for beta. You can also write a symbol for beta as electron, 0 and -1. So better remember these symbols for such particle. Like if they say alpha, that is 4 and 2. If they say beta, 0, -1. If they say gamma, you don't have no change in nucleon or a proton number. If they say neutron, it is 1 and 0. If they say proton, 1 and 1. If they say electron, 0 and -1. Beta emission does not release both proton and electron. The proton remain in the nucleus and the electron is going out. One of the neutrons in the nucleus, this is what happened in a beta emission. One of the neutron in the nucleus will break down into proton and electron. This proton remain in the nucleus and this electron is being released. That is called a beta. Beta and electrons are same. That's right. So better learn these symbols for these particles emission. Question 4 from atomic physics assignment. The radiation detector is placed on the bench in the lab and it detects a background counts of 40. Like we don't have any source, we just have a detector, and without any source in front, the detector records 40 radiation. What is meant by the background radiation? It suggests one source. What is the meaning of a background radiation? How you define? Radiation from surrounding objects or air Yeah, radiation from environment, you can also say, or radiation due to everyday, like in a everyday life. And what are the sources? You have to state one source. You can say cosmic rays.
Cosmic radiation.
Yeah, you can say cosmic radiation. You can say rocks, soil, or even like a nuclear waste also. Rocks, cosmic rays, anyone you have to mention. So anyone you can mention. Radon in the atmosphere. A sample contain atom of polonium which is removed from lead container and brought closer to a detector with an average count of 890. When two sheets of paper are inserted, the detector average count returned to 40. Polonium 208 is represented by a symbol. It decays to an isotope of a lead. Deduce a type of radiation emitted by polonium and explain your answer. So what we did, two sheets of paper are inserted between that. And like first, we were having a background radiation of 40. And then we place, it can be beta. How you can say it's beta? Yeah, beta only you can mention it. Because what actually happened as we increase, first we were having a detector and this detector record 40 radiation in the beginning of experiment. Then we place a source in front. When we place a source in front of it, it was recording 890 radiations or 890 counts. Then what happened when we placed it, two sheets of paper, like so when we place a paper in front of it, two sheets, we observe the count become background. So which radiation is released from this? It's not beta. The correct answer is alpha. The correct answer is alpha. Why alpha? Because alpha can be stopped by a paper. Beta can penetrate through a paper, so the count rate won't change to background. Because the alpha can be stopped by the paper, that's why as the sheet stops alpha particle, and that's why the counts become background. So shows it was not beta source, it is alpha source. Beta can be stopped by aluminium. If we place a sheet of aluminium, it might be like first we place a paper and then sheet of aluminium, it might be alpha or beta, both. Is it clear this one? How we say which type of radiation is emitted out?
Yes, sir, clear.
Then we have to write equation as we identify it is emitting out. We identify it as emitting out alpha, and reason for that because alpha is stopped by the paper. So paper is stopping alpha, that's why we identify, or the counts changes to background, so it shows that's in an alpha source. Write down a nuclide equation for polonium. It is emitting out alpha. So we have polonium, which is 208 and 84. If it is emit out alpha, alpha is 4 and 2. What will happen to nucleon number? It will decrease by 4, so it will be 204. And proton number decreases by 2. And they mention a plutonium converted into a lead. So here we have plutonium, which was 208 and 84. When it turned into a lead, the nucleon number decreases by 4, proton number decreases by 2, and emitted out alpha particle. And how we say it was alpha particle? Because the paper stopped the radiation to penetrate and we receive the background counts or background radiation. Is it clear, this whole question? Anyone having a doubt in any part of this?
No, sir, clear.